USC true freshman wide receiver Zachariah Branch exploded in week one of the college football season. Now, he was certainly on my radar, but I understand if he wasn't on yours. And it got me thinking about these seven freshman players that could have an impact on the 2023 college football landscape that you need to know about. Zachariah Branch lived up to the hype that he came into USC with. He stole the show in week zero against San Jose State. Although Dorian Singer was productive, although Taj Washington had that big deep ball, although Mario Williams got his after waiting for seniority, it was Zachariah Branch, the five-star true freshman wide receiver who comes in at 5'10, 175, that looked absolutely explosive and got a lot of folks excited. Now, Zachariah Branch did come in with 4 receptions, and he hauled those 4 receptions in for 58 yards. But it was actually his kick return that may have been the most impressive play that he made all night long. He took a 96-yard kick return to the house. And if there was ever any doubt that this true freshman was going to make an immediate impact on one of the best offenses in the country, that was immediately erased. Now, beyond the box score, it's important to point out here that he passed the eye test. He looked electric. He looked great in space. He looks like he can speed up very quickly here. He's drawn a ton of comparisons from Percy Harvin to Tyreek Hill. I'm not sure we should be labeling him with that yet, but we should be labeling him as one of the top Devy wide receivers in his class. And it wouldn't shock me if a year from now we're talking about him as one of the best Devy wide receivers overall. You're definitely going to want to make sure that you keep an eye on the USC Trojans offense. And when you do, you're going to see Zachariah Branch flash across your screen. Now, Nick Saban doesn't often praise his players, and he very rarely praises his true freshmen to the media, but that didn't stop him from singing the praises of running back Justice Haynes all offseason long. Now, you combine that with the fact that Alabama has a serious problem in the sense that this year they don't have a Bryce Young. They don't have a Tua Tagovailoa. They don't have a Jalen Hurts. All right, they have a three-way quarterback battle that we still don't have an answer to. And quite frankly, we might not have an answer throughout the first month of the college football season. What they do have, though, is an excellent defense, a good offensive line, and a stable of running backs that they're going to rely on. Now, it should be senior Jace McClellan that takes the lead for the Crimson Tide, but from everything Nick Saban is telling us this offseason, I would be shocked if Justice Haynes was not a key part of that rotation early on into the season, and he might even work his way up to almost an even split of the touches by the end of the season for the Crimson Tide. Now, if you're not familiar with Justice Haynes, he was a high 4-star recruit, the 34th overall recruit in his class in the 2023 recruiting class. He comes in at 5'11", 205. That's what he's listed at. Wouldn't shock me if he's bulked up even from there. The beat has been very positive coming out of Tuscaloosa for Justice Haynes, and I'm excited to see his ability to smash in between the tackles, and hopefully we get to see some of that athleticism working in space as well. Now, it's important to point out that Alabama likes to feature their running backs in the passing game as well. So if we're able to see Justice Haynes as a true freshman contribute both on the ground and through the air, you're going to see his Devy and future NFL draft stock absolutely skyrocket. The number 2 running back in the 2023 class, just one spot ahead of Justice Haynes, is running back Reuben Owens. So Reuben Owens originally committed to Louisville and then ended up flipping to Texas A&M. And a big reason why he did is because the expectation is that Reuben Owens can see the field quickly for the Texas A&M Aggies, who just lost Devon Achane to the NFL and don't have a clear successor to him. Reuben Owens, through the recruiting process, is known for being fast, for being athletic, and everything we're hearing this offseason is that he can hit the field quickly and contribute for the Aggies. I try through all my videos to help you dissect and understand which offenses are worth prioritizing when you're flipping through the channels on a Saturday. And whether you're flipping on for Reuben Owens or quarterback Connor Wakeman, wide receiver Evan Stewart, wide receiver Anaya Smith, the Aggies are absolutely going to be an offense you want to watch. And I'm hoping early on in the season, they're going to show us a good dose of Reuben Owens. It's a general trend that highly recruited running backs do get early playing time at the college level. I know that sounds a little simple, but early playing time is never guaranteed, even for five-star recruits. We should expect a good exposure level, though, for Cedric Baxter, the number one running back in the class, in the 2023 class. He is with the Texas Longhorns, and although it seems like Jonathan Brooks, the senior, is going to at least start the season as the lead back, everything we're hearing out of Austin and the Texas Longhorns beat suggests that it will be Cedric or CJ Baxter that ends up being the lead playmaker out of the backfield for the Texas Longhorns this season. Similar to Texas A&M, it's going to be hard not to prioritize the Longhorns when they're on TV. Baxter should be working in an offense that features Quinn Ewers, a potential top 10 overall draft selection at quarterback, and then Xavier Worthy, a wide receiver playing along the outside that's explosive and dynamic, and Jatavion Sanders, potentially the second best tight end in the class, in the 2024 class. But hopefully anchoring, hopefully opening up the field, hopefully showing his burst and athleticism will be CJ Baxter. Wide receiver is a tougher position to break through and see volume early on relative to the running back position that we just discussed. But staying in Austin, staying with the burnt orange here, I do want to talk about Jonte Cook. Jonte Cook was the seventh highest wide receiver in his recruiting class. He's known for being able to win before and after the catch and having good ball tracking ability. Jonte Cook comes in at 6'0", 186, and he's currently listed on the initial depth chart as being a part of the two deep behind Xavier Worthy. Now, Texas is going to be an open offense with Steve Sarkisian. They throw the ball downfield a lot, and they do rotate wide receivers on. So although Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, and Jordan Whittingham should be the first round of wide receivers on the depth chart, we absolutely should see Jonte Cook worked in early on in the season, and I imagine his workload will increase throughout the course of the 2023 season. Now, I'm not projecting Jonte Cook to necessarily finish the season with 50 or 60 receptions, but I do think he'll get to the point throughout the season where he's seeing between 5 and 8 targets, especially later on in the year, and especially if there's an injury that occurs. He has the ability to step up in that X position here and make a quick impact on the Longhorns offense. LSU is known for being a wide receiver factory, and we might just have that next guy up here. Now, we are moving a little bit further down the recruiting rankings. We're going to wide receiver 21 in his class, but the beat, the hype, a lot of excitement has been building throughout the offseason for wide receiver Shelton Samson out of LSU. Shelton Samson is listed on the two deep, and he's in a little bit more of a shallow wide receiver room here for the Tigers. You do have the ability for him to break through, I think, a little bit quicker than necessarily we were talking about with Jonte Cook. But Shelton Samson, you put him along the outside. He comes in at 6'4". He's got a good frame. He has that ability on his high school tape to go up, high point that ball, shows off athleticism, and he's got a nice stride and a little bit more speed than you would expect for a player of his frame. Doesn't that check a lot of boxes when it comes to the LSU offense? I also think it complements the wide receiver core that they have going on there. So as LSU pushes deeper into a tough schedule, you will want to make sure you're prioritizing watching the players out of Baton Rouge. Now, it's hard to project a freshman quarterback starting, and especially in terms of playing significant time throughout the season. But there is one true freshman quarterback that we know is going to start and play significant time, and that is quarterback Jaden Rashada. Rashada was the number 6 quarterback in the 2023 class, a highly touted 4-star that initially committed to Miami, flipped to Florida under a really lucrative NIL offer, It turned out that Florida didn't actually have that NIL money to pay him, so Rashada ends up finally landing and committing to the Arizona State Sun Devils, where his dad was a legacy player. So Jaden Rashada comes in and is competitive throughout the offseason and throughout camp, and he ends up finding himself in a really solid number 2 role, which is impressive on its own for a true freshman. And then starter Drew Pine went down with a preseason injury, and it looks like it's going to be Jaden Rashada's offense to run with. Now, Kenny Dillingham is the head coach of Arizona State. He is a new head coach. He's coming over from Oregon, where he was the OC that helped revitalize the Bo Nix revolution. So, with any hope here, we're going to get a really talented recruiting player, a really talented recruit, I should say. He's going to have a great ability to work off platform, kind of improvise his throws. He's got good arm talent. And we're going to combine that with some creative play calling and some proven ability to coach up and develop at the quarterback position. There's a lot of excitement around a new start for Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham is certainly a big part of that, but Jaden Rashada is also a big part of that. And it's going to give us a reason to hang on for those late Pac-12 after dark games this season, because we're going to want to get our eyes on quarterback Jaden Rashada. When a true freshman wide receiver produces, his Devy fantasy football value absolutely skyrockets. If you ask 20 Devy analysts who the best quarterback in the 2023 recruiting class is, they'd probably give you 5 or 6 different answers. 2 of those guys that they might give you more often is quarterback Jackson Arnold out of Oklahoma and quarterback Dante Moore out of UCLA. Now, neither one of these guys is starting the season as the QB1 for their team, but if injury or a lack of performance happens above them on the depth chart, there's a realistic chance that we see both of these guys at some point throughout the season. Jackson Arnold is playing for the Oklahoma Sooners, and there was a lot of excitement for Brett Venables when he was able to land Jackson Arnold. Dylan Gabriel, the 7th-year senior at this point, is leading the Oklahoma offense, and he has a proven track record of producing when staying healthy. But Gabriel has missed chunks of time consistently throughout his career, and it appears that Jackson Arnold would be the next quarterback up if Dylan Gabriel was to miss another chunk of time this season. And at UCLA, there's a full-on quarterback battle that's going to extend into the season. Now, Chip Kelly did name Garbers to be his starting quarterback, and Kent State transfer Colin Schlee will be in the mix as well. But true freshman Dante Moore was a huge get for UCLA, their highest rated quarterback recruit ever, and they were able to go into Big Ten territory, yes, now their Big Ten territory, and get the Detroit, Michigan native. So at least early on in the season, Chip Kelly has said that all 3 of his quarterbacks, including Dante Moore, will get the chance to get some live reps and to get some tape put in. So if Dante Moore can impress, there's no reason that Chip Kelly wouldn't prioritize him over the 2 transfer quarterbacks. Now remember, Chip Kelly is the same guy who started Dorian Thompson-Robinson from the point when he was a true freshman, and he enjoyed having him as a 5-year starter. So this is the first time there's been a real quarterback battle for UCLA in about 5 years. And you have to imagine Chip Kelly would love for Dante Moore to take that job and hold on to it for another 4 years. So there you have it. Those are my top freshman candidates to make an impact in the 2023 season. If you want to be able to track these guys' value relative to your dynasty players, relative to the draft picks that you might trade them for, or other Devy assets, I encourage you to head on over to patreon.com/rookiebigboard. You can get access to my full Devy rankings, but more importantly, get access to the full Rookie Big Board Discord, where you can just ask me questions about these guys and have even more fun reacting live on college football Saturdays. It's my favorite part of the Discord, that amped up game day chat. If you want to try it out for free, you can get the college football channel in the free version of the Discord. The link to that is going to be in this video, along with the link to patreon.com/rookiebigboard, where you can get full access to all the Devy resources. Hey, I'd really appreciate it if you make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the Rookie Big Board.